Zoom Wave took over hardcore during COVID, didn't it? What do you
And then
do?
Teams, Microsoft just copied it. I'm in finance,
Oh, okay.
so I'm a stock trader. So I work evenings, so I don't. That's why I don't use my camera very often because the people who call me don't care to look at me. They're more just trying to get stuff done over the phone.
Hit Dawg, I've been trying to become a stock trader. How the fuck do you do that?
I don't know, man. Well, I went to school for business and I didn't know, I did business because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. That was just on my dad's advice. And when I graduated, I still didn't really want to sit behind a desk. I was like one of those guys that kind of painted outside summer times, like manual labor, landscaping, that kind of thing. And that was
Yeah.
like my first kind of passion. I was like, "Ah, I kind of want to like start my own business," which I did, but I realized pretty quick that it was kind of a pain in the butt. There's people who don't pay and you got to like chase them down.
Yeah.
And like, of course, winter time comes around here and the work slows down. So I had a buddy in the finance world that just kind of hooked me up with an interview, and that kind of got me in on
Yeah.
some level. And I sort of moved around from place to place and kind of found something that I was, good at and that I actually enjoyed. So,
What did you apply as? Just as a trader, or like what was the official title that you started as?
when I started, it was like a mutual fund accountant. So
Oh,
it
okay.
was like whatever. They were back then they were hiring in droves. So I was a part of like a class of probably like 50, 40 people.
Okay.
Um, and that job kind of stunk, but like whatever. It was a first job. It was a steady paycheck. And of course, like my college loan bills started coming in, so I had to start paying those off. So that was like really the main reason why I decided just to get a steady job. And then um, from there, I actually moved down to Baltimore, Maryland. My wife was a nurse at Johns Hopkins, and then I worked for a company down there. Um, and I just by kind of random, I just kind of went for an open position that I saw. And it happened to be supporting the equity desk at this firm. And then I kind of found out it's like, okay, I like this. Like, what's the next step? It's to be a trader. So I kind of we spent some time down there for 3 years and came back up here to Boston. I got a job doing the same thing for a different company. And then one of the traders had left the team. I was supporting the trading team, and one of the traders had left. And I applied for it and got it because I had worked with those people already for
Yeah.
a few years, and I've been doing this for now 7 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's good. I really do enjoy it. And since COVID, the commute to Boston is I don't have it, so I can work from home because I work at night. So yeah, it's good.
So why do you work at night? What are you trading at night?
Asia, Asia
Asia.
equities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're shorting Asia down into the ground, huh?
Shoot, something like that. Yeah.
And so you just have a wild schedule then. So I by the way, I just started recording, so you were giving that long
Yeah,
answer. I was like, all right, let's get to know Hit Dog. So
yeah, yeah.
you're the real Wolf of Wall Street. You're actually an actual trader while you're also making hip hop beats on the side. When did in this whole journey, as you were trying to figure out what you were going to do with your life, that you started making beats and stuff?
So I've always been into music. I grew up. I played trumpet through high school. I taught myself drum set when I was in middle school. I had like a little middle school band that we would play. I grew up in the '90s, so we played like Nirvana and Marcy's Playground. That song was like really big. That was like the first thing I learned. I taught myself like Stairway to Heaven on the drum set. That was super cool. But no, I've always been into music. I've always been into hip hop. Like my first hip hop tape cassette was Dr. Dre The Chronic, the first one, The
Yeah.
Chronic. My uncle bought me that, and I was in third grade at the time, and my parents like took it away from me as soon as I played it, but eventually swiped it back, and so that was like my intro into hip hop. So I was always into hip hop and just like everything. Like Michael Jackson was big. I mean, you know back then. So in high school, I think I had a cracked version of like FL Studio.
Yeah.
And this is before YouTube. So I like fired up FL Studio and it was just so like overwhelming. I didn't even know what to do. So I would like play around with it here and there, but really pursue it because I didn't know what the heck I was doing, and there was really no like resources, especially like for a
Oh,
high
bro.
school kid who's doing other stuff anyway. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And frankly, I didn't know what a producer was. I didn't know like all I knew was like it was rap and hip hop. I didn't know anything about like sampling or any of that.
Yeah.
So fast forward, like I went through the steps to just like get myself, just because this is the way I was brought up, right? Like I went to high school, I went to college, and then I got a job. But I was always into music. I would always play music, and I'm kind of an audiophile, so like I would always, get really good speakers. Like my cars were always like, I have the subs in the back. Like I always loved like the bass and just like the drums and just stuff like thumping you in the chest, and so always big on that. Like really good sound. So fast forward, I guess, to COVID. Really, I'm like, like I kind of want to like revisit like production and see what that is. And actually, I didn't even say production. I was like, I just want to make beats. And then one of my buddies is like, oh, you want to be a producer? And I'm like, oh, is that what that is? All right, yeah, I want to be a producer. And then I started doing like research, and like I realized like, oh, Dre was actually a producer first and then a rapper. Like he was like one of my favorite rappers growing up. I didn't even
Yeah.
realize that he was. I don't think I really knew that he was making these beats. Maybe I did, but I also didn't know that he was flipping old samples. I just thought like he was
Yeah.
like bringing people in the studio and doing this stuff from scratch. So I was like, oh shoot! Like when I learned that, I started kind of YouTube and stuff. I'm like, I could probably like do this. Like I have a lot of really great ideas.
Isn't it
And
crazy
then
when you go back and you like see some of your favorite like artists or producers and like see their discography and see the history of like all the shit that they really did, that they really came up off of?
yeah, like it was all sample flips, and like breaking down. So when I realized that, I was breaking down how they flipped them, and I'm like, this is freaking interesting, and I'm like really, really into this. Like I already have my own ideas. Like I'm hearing songs on the radio that I could like sample from. It's just a matter of now like learning the software. So this is like 2020, early 2020. Um, so then I had to figure out. My wife's pregnant with my first kid, by the way. I have three kids now. So I kind of yeah, I would YouTube. So I was really into Logic. You know this, like Logic, one of my favorite
So
rappers for
your best
sure.
friend.
I wish. I mean, maybe someday, but true inspiration, that guy. But basically, it kind of gave me a direction, right? Like his album No Pressure came out that summer, and I got like really into just like it's actually one of my favorite albums of all time. And when I first listened to it, I didn't love it. Isn't that kind of weird? But then I really kind of listened to it, and I listened to like the production of it, and I started to just go down a YouTube rabbit hole to try to figure out, beat breakdowns and what samples they use and how they're creating the drums. And so from there, I bought like a keyboard with a pad with some pads on it, and it came with a free, um, like a free trial of I don't know, it was like Ableton, I think, and I couldn't figure out Ableton for the life of me. So I like tried my best, and then and I tried Pro Tools because that was another one, and I just couldn't figure out Pro Tools. I figured out so Six, Logic's main producer, so I would watch like whatever videos I could find of him making beats, and it was all in FL Studio. And I'm like, FL Studio, this is like Fruity Loops. Like Fruity Loops is back in the day, that's what they called it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm like, all right, so maybe I could revisit Fruity Loops. Or FL. So I downloaded. I was like, fuck it, I must have got a trial, or maybe I just paid for it outright, just to like we're doing this, and I just YouTubed until I got comfortable. Um, and so that was almost 5 years ago now, and so once I I mean, you never master this kind of software because there's just so much to it.
Yeah.
But I definitely have like a really smooth workflow that I'm into right now.
What I call is being in control.
Yeah,
That's what I was asking Hedge. I was like, when not when you feel like you mastered it, but when you feel like you were in control. Because he's like, I've been making beats for 10 years. I'm like, all right. Well, not when you feel like you like you've accomplished anything, but like when did you feel like you were in control? And so you feel like you're in control with your beat making now. Like you got a good workflow, you got it smooth. It's like I'm in control of what I want to make.
No
Is that what you're
doubt. And
saying?
that was the most frustrating. I would say yes, yes. Like if I have an idea, I can like spit it out into the DAW like within a minute, you know? Back then, I would have the idea, but it's almost like not speaking a language if you're in another country or something. It's so frustrating. You're trying to like speak to somebody and communicate to them and you just
Yeah.
can't get your point across. Like that's
Yeah.
what it felt like having all these ideas and not being able to just get them out into the software was so frustrating, but man, patience paid off for sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of YouTube and so now, yeah, I get that idea, and I can just at least get something out there right away, and you build upon that.
Yeah, I remember I started making beats back in college, and there wasn't a whole lot of help. It was me just kind of figuring shit out on my own, like I was talking about. Then I finally ran into YouTube for a little bit, and then I think in 2018 I actually started making my own tutorials, and I had one tutorial that blew up and has like a lot of views and stuff.
Oh no way.
But but yeah, during 2018, I don't know what happened that made it so it would just seem like all right, I need to get back into beat making and doing it more hardcore. And then it was about 2-3 years ago, working with these Discords, I decided to get back on the mic and start rapping again and stuff like that. And so, were you part of NEM or were you in their server or how do you know? Because you know Hedgeye from before. Is that how you know all those guys?
Yeah, it's an interesting story actually. You want me to start kind of from the beginning?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, man. Hold on. Let me made a note so I don't forget my boys here. Okay, um, so at this point, this is probably 20, 2021, let's say. I'm just on Reddit, like downloading samples, right? Like there's samples for all, like free samples, people just like posting stuff, and getting drum packs and just getting non-stock instruments. Like I'm
Yeah.
all over Reddit, like, and I think that's where most people start. So I run into a sample flip challenge on one of these servers, and it happens to be this guy, Big Hack. And Big Hack is a producer down from Jacksonville, Florida, and he's produced for like T-Pain and a bunch of like guys. He used to have a studio down there. I didn't know this at the time, any of it. I just saw a video. He's like, "Hey, here's a sample. Flip it. You get on my stream on Twitch. Like, we'll review it, all that stuff." And that was like getting on Twitch in front of people. I felt like I was at the point where it'd be interesting to see like what people think about what I'm doing,
Yeah.
and kind of gauge like where I'm at amongst, I guess, my peers. So I did that, and that's when I downloaded Serato Sample, which is like a game changer too.
Yeah.
Um,
So everybody says.
so yeah. Anyway, I flipped the beat, got on the Twitch, and it went well. And I've been doing that ever since, almost monthly. Like he still does them, and it just keeps me sharp. And it's crazy to see the growth. But inside of that Twitch flip community was this guy named Sogi Yaman and Shanga. You know Shanga. I don't know how familiar you are from with the mixtape crew, the Never Ending Mixtape crew. But
I know Hedgeye. And
okay, so Shanga Gomez.
I
I,
know
I
I know Hedgeye and any random dude that came into the stew that was also there as well. Like I know Valco, and then
I
I don't really know too many other people.
basically two guys from the Never Ending Mixtape were just a part of these flips, and I didn't know anything about Never Ending Mixtape.
Yeah.
They were just boys that were part of my community there, and it was probably like a dozen of us. We would just do flips almost, I think, every week or whatever. But time goes by, and they gave me the invite into Never Ending Mixtape Discord, and so that's how I linked up with those guys. And from there, I met Chandler, who I've worked with and dropped a album with, and I have singles with, not necessarily released, but a few of those guys in there, and they're super talented. I've learned a ton from them, and in that server, I learned a lot about like what it takes to actually like make a project and develop an ear for something that's like either done or not done. Like some of the stuff that they were saying wasn't done to me at the time. I was like, whoa, you kidding me? This sounds like ready to go. But no, I learned a lot from those guys. And then from there, I guess I can't even remember how I got linked with the Stew, but it must have been like Hedgeye.
No, you. Well,
Well,
I think you reached out to me after we released Noodle Rap. You were like, "Hey, that song's cool," and I was like, "Hey, nice to meet you." And
that's right.
then and then we would chat back and forth every once in a while. And I started saying that Mike Lowe was Dilla's cousin. And you were like, "Is that
Yeah.
really Dilla's cousin?"
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And then
Yeah.
I was just like, I didn't know if you were part. I didn't really actually know what you were from or who you were at. You were just some random guy that just like, every once in a while someone reaches out and says, "Hey, cool track," or I'll reach out to somebody and be like, "Hey, cool track," and connect with them.
You know what
Just
I think it was? There's a guy in Never Ending Mixtape named Stu. Okay, he like
yeah,
runs it
he runs the
basically.
whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So sure, like Hedgeye or somebody from there maybe reposted like your video.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I was thinking maybe that was Stu. I'm like, oh, Stu, like he's got other stuff going on. That's I'm sure that's what it was. And then I got linked up with you guys. Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, I was just like, "Hey man, if you got well," and then I think you came out with your project, and I was just like, "Oh, this project sounds pretty freaking dope. What is this dude doing?"
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Yeah. I mean, so everything just kind of happens. It's funny, and just the organic way that things sort of develop, and the people that you meet, and the network that you build. I think is really important in this business, but just whatever. I mean, hobby in this case, but maybe someday a business.
Yeah, I've been. That's so funny. I've been learning how to try to become a stock trader for a year. Meanwhile, you've been doing it for the last 7 years.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, you never really learn. I mean, nobody knows what they're talking about if I'm
That's
honest.
what it sounds like. It sounds like music and stock trading is the same thing. It's like, when is the song done? What's good?
Yeah,
What's
everyone has
what
their
what stocks
opinion.
they go up? Everybody has their opinion and nobody's right.
Much, yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
So
so like a lot of people, you kind of got back into your hobby during COVID, but then, so were you making songs with artists before you got into the NEM server, or was that kind of like switched on a light bulb, like, oh, maybe I should try to make some songs and put some stuff together?
man, yeah, I was only making beats. The dream was always it remains like my what I do is basically I make beats that I want people to rap on. Like that was always the goal. Is like the beats I make, I want people to hop on, dope rappers. And um, when I got linked up with Neverending Mixtape, they had so many dope rappers in there, and they're actually starting to hop on. They would have just to kind of introduce myself. I would submit. They would have like beat reviews, right? And so I would submit a few beats, and they would review it. And I think that's how I met Chandler and like a couple other guys. And from there, like people started hopping on my stuff and sending it to me, and that was like so exciting. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what a feeling! Like people actually like want to rap on it, and they're getting it
Yeah.
done. And just like hearing my instrumentals in the background of like somebody rapping, that was like such a cool feeling. That was a huge like step, and that was probably like 2022. Yeah. Um, and so in one of those, I guess just to elaborate, in one of those beat submissions, yeah, Chandler hit me up for one of the beats, and he and I were just gonna release like a Lucy, just a single, and I would just keep sending him stuff, and they're like, oh, okay, this might be an EP, and then it kind of just like turned into I just kept feeding him, and he kept going, and it turned into a full blown project. So that was a lot of fun. It took a while for sure, but that experience, just kind of learning what it took to put together a project, um, and make it sound good and cohesive. That was mostly Chandler, to be honest. He would pick what beats he wanted. He'd do his thing, and then he picked the order. I would just use my ear to make sure that the vocals and the instrumentals sounded all blended the right way to me. As far as like mixing and all that. But no, that was a cool experience. And like I said, like that's like still the goal. Like everything I make, I want to for the most part, everything I make,
You want
I want
someone to
rappers
hop on.
yeah, I want
So yeah,
artists.
so that even that project kind of happened organically as well. I feel like that's what happens with me, with the way I've kind of been doing projects. I did a project with Mike Lowe, but it just because I just kept hopping on all of his beats. The only project I did that was Kondraki asked me to actually hey man, let's do an actual project together. I was like, oh okay. Now, but it was all I was already a few songs in deep on some of his beats and stuff like that as well. And so it sounds like that's what happened with you and Chandler. It's just you guys already had a few songs. Just all right, let's just keep going. Let's see how far this goes.
Yeah, and I feel like, at least for me, I haven't had it happen the other way, but I feel like it works best for me right now. Like that's how I picture it working better than the opposite, where you sort of have an idea and you have mold your music around that certain idea. I just made what I make and put it out there to him, and it just all sort of clicked. And we had a lot of singles that didn't make the album, but yeah, it just kind of because we weren't planning it, it just sort of happened, and the whole thing just kind of worked out. I wouldn't say stress-free, because it was a little bit stressful here and there, going back and forth, but overall, yeah, stress-free.
How many songs did you guys make for the album, and how many did it come down to?
Oh man, well, it came down to 9. He picked 9. We decided on 9, I believe. But I probably have maybe 8 other songs that are rough songs.
So you guys had 17-ish songs and cut it down to 9?
Yeah, but it's not like it all came down to that. He kind of decided right away that, okay, this isn't going to work. I'll do something else. And there were a couple songs that we tweaked and changed up over time. Mind you, this is over the course of, man, a year and a half, almost a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, we weren't necessarily planning on doing a project initially, so it's not like we were both pedal to the metal type stuff. It was just all right, I'm feeding you singles. We came out with Uppercut, which we'll hear later, and
nah, we can go ahead and get to this music right now, because we already hyped it up.
Yeah, so we came out with I was so fired up when I heard this song, the demo of him rapping over this beat. And it's just a bop, man. It's a summer bop.
Mr. Chandler, Hit Dawg, Uppercut.
California champ. Ooh, shawty got to tell me what's up. Just hit me up like an uppercut, baby. Hit me up like an uppercut. I ain't tryna fuck or to slap. Just hit me up. Ooh, baby, got to tell me what's up. Just hit me up like an uppercut. Shawty, this love. I promise that this love got me right back. Ooh, shawty got to tell me what's up. Just hit me up like an uppercut, baby. Hit me up like an uppercut. I ain't tryna fuck or to slap. Just hit me up. First time I ever saw you was astonished. You making model girls wanna pay homage. With the sparks fly, make an 8 niggas from my Amish. Girl, you got the type of vibe, make me traitorous to my mama shit. I know you had a man, so I'm hoping that nigga long gone. I ain't got a plan, so I'm hoping you hear this damn song. No, this ain't a crush, little bit more than lust, and I ain't tryna lose touch. So shawty, just hit me up, right? We can do the rendezvous up on the west side. Shawty, we can honeymoon, go catch a new flight. Whatever you wanna do, whatever you like, long as I can be with you, baby, I'm cool like a cucumber. Girl, you hotter than summer, spend a week with you, shawty, you my 7 days wonder. Tryna be there when you slumber, give you all the comfort. Stress, send me a message, oh, guess you need my number, huh? Ooh, shawty gotta tell me what's up. Just hit me up like an uppercut, baby. Hit me up like an uppercut. I ain't tryna fuck or to slap. Just hit me up. Ooh, baby, gotta tell me what's up. Just hit me up like an uppercut. Shawty, this love. I promise that this love got me right back. I don't think I had a type before I met you. Now I know my type is everything that make you special. I still need to see what that mouth do like is dental, baby. How you call me daddy? Damn, let's get parental, baby. Know I love a shawty with her own shit. Baby, hell yeah, spoil me rotten, I'm a grown kid. Tryna lay up in your crib, snacking on shit next to you. Phone on silent, I already got your message, boo. Girl, you ever gotten fucked in your vestibule? Let's make the neighbors hate that they live next to you. Baby, we can do it greater. Fuck the haters, tryna be there when you wake up without your makeup. 7 days later. Ooh, shawty gotta tell me what's up. Just hit me up like a leper thug. Baby, hit me up like a leper thug. I ain't tryna fuck all this love. Just hit me up. Ooh, baby, gotta tell me what's up. Just hit me up like a leper thug. Shawty, this love. I'm poppin' shit. This love, got me running right back.
Got me running right back. 7 days after, you know I'm a black guy. Did it 'cause I had to. Running right back. 7 days after, you know I'm a black guy. Did it 'cause I had to. 'Cause I had to. 7 days after. Preaching to you like a pastor. I preaching to you like a pastor. Baby.
Hit me up, baby.
Yeah, man, that song, so good, so good. I mean, I've listened to it a million times. It's been a while, but that song is so good.
Yeah, man. No, that song's definitely catchy. Is that one of the songs that you played on Logic Stream?
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, he reviewed that one. Man, that was so cool. Like getting through to him, that was really neat.
Yeah.
And yeah, hearing him just sign off on that beat, and even Chandler's raps, like super cool.
Hit me up like an uppercut, baby.
Yeah, man. And he also heard like one of the other ones that, oh, actually the next two that I've given you, he heard, and just, yeah, I mean, people loved it. And like stuff like that, like hearing from like the man in your world, like, damn, that was, having him kind of validate what you're doing, like that's like the best kind of motivation you can get.
Especially someone that you look up to. It's just like, oh shoot.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think he's just the greatest. So yeah, just hearing him fucking give you the thumbs up is super dope.
Yeah, you got all these played on this stream. We got this one by.
So this other guy, yeah, Robert Martino is actually from the area here. I got linked up with him through my brother-in-law, but he and I text a lot, and I'm gonna have some more songs coming out with him. He's a super talented young rapper out of Massachusetts, Boston area. But anyway, so
do you know him locally, or how did you meet up with him?
Yeah, so I met him through my brother-in-law. We would just text back and forth, and yeah, I heard his raps, and he heard my beats, and I sent him the one that we're about to hear, and you know, he killed it. And I went to one of his shows and met him in person last year. But it was one of those things where I texted him like, hey, Logic's doing like a music review. You should submit your music and try and get on. And he got on that same day right after me. So it was kind of like one of those things. We both got lucky.
Because I bet everybody submits to that music review.
Yeah, man. I mean, and that was the first one, so we got in early, and now people hear about it, and there's just like thousands of submissions. So I'm glad we got it in while we did.
That's what's up. All right, Robert Martino, Jaden Yuki, produced by Hit Dawg.
One time, shout out Hit Dawg.
One time.
Yo, I said my mind is like Hannibal Lecter, a Dr. Doom with a scepter. I take my mind and project her across the universe. I'm too immersed, like Logic was in his prime. I'm Optimus with a gun and I'm looping it just like Vine. With one single word at a time, I take my mind and unravel it with a travel kit I got from making battle shit. They said, son, I think you really looking out of it. That's when I grabbed the mic and really started shouting shit. I'm lyrically better than anyone I've ever seen. I'm the best on this planet, it's like I'm James Dean. I got a plan and now I murder my competitors. I leave them all like predators and treat them like they senators now. Dumb sick with they dick in their hands. And I ain't with that fucking shit cause they be tricking they fans. They be saying a bunch of shit like I should flip for the bands. But I could never do that shit because I know that my fans would never let me. Inside of my pocket I got a Yeti, a 45 and a Magnum, the clip, and I'm fucking ready for this universe to try to shoot me in the head. I'm stupid in bed, lyrically the best, and I said that I'll be back. And now it's like a Titan attack because I really think you went and set the bar low, Jack. I'm the illest white boy to ever touch this track, and I murder MCs like I'm Goku Black. I've been the illest in my city and I know it. I take my dick out, then she probably gon' blow it. I say you fucking with the greatest rapper ever alive, and if we talking top 10, I better be top 5. What's up?
What's up? No hook, just straight raps.
All right, so how do you feel when you get back a song that has no hook on it? Are you cool with it?
probably like it better than one with a hook, to be honest.
Yeah, I kind of like.
th-
Well, it's one ever-ending conversation that we have here in the stew, or now the Levant Club. But me and Tyler is all about his recipe, where you have a hook and a verse and this, and then I come in and just do the wildest shit and just rap at the most awkward time on a beat, and like stop rapping in the most awkward time, so the next person has to come in at the most awkward time. So I always like to ask each producer, each member, like, what are your thoughts on song structure and how a song should come together?
Man, if you have hard raps, you don't need a hook, in my opinion. If you got the raps, just go. Like, I want to hear them. I want to hear them. I think it still has to flow for sure, but I don't think it needs, like what you just heard, like to me, that was super dope. Like it flowed perfectly. It was the right length. I don't think it should be too long if you don't have a hook.
Yeah.
And just go and finish. And actually, that's going to be the next song too that you'll hear. Is there's no hook on that one on Distractions. But you know, I think hooks have their purpose. Like when I hear like, I don't know, you always think of like, you know, radio single or something. So like a single that's going to stand out on an album that people are going to rock out to. Usually, yeah, you probably want a hook, but nah, man. I mean, as a producer, I'd rather hear dope rhymes. Just do it. Just go.
Just say some dope shit on my beat, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, here's this next one. Distractions, Mr. Chandler. Hit Dawg on the beat.
Yeah. You gonna ride on this one, baby. The only nigga left that's philosophizing, kill him in one line, but in the next, I'm gonna stop the violence. It's all Lord of the Flies, rapping kids stuck on the island. Only difference is here we all lying and not surviving. I've been carrying guilt, cause I know that we all ain't thriving. I've been making these waves, yeah, somehow, man, we all ain't rising. I know I'm making moves. Is it you? Is you just mine? And I thought you had the glow. Is you cold or is you diamonds? People tell me I changed, tell them no. What you implying, nigga, I've been on. How would you know? You ain't arrived yet, I'm spending time alone, trying to cope. I'm fucking trying, I'm seconds away from blowing it up just to hear the silence. But why tell? Like to look at the ocean, we both know we hide well. These secrets are mine still. I was born in Chicago, so trust me, I know ill. Now I'm out here in the valley, I'm bringing them cold chills. I look around and I ain't seeing no resemblance. Got people tailing my code and folks hoping for codependence. I'm really a nice guy, but my IUB is relentless. Got niggas from Ivy Leagues that's just hoping I give them mentions, but I never do. I look in the mirror like I know that I'm a better you. I don't fuck with anyone telling me what I'll never do. I got so many talents, it's a challenge to remember who the fuck I ain't a mention to. Talk my shit, I've been too humble, so it ain't often when I grab me the shovel. I'm giving vittles with vocals, these visuals unapproachable. Me and my dog making hits. What you think Hit Dawg supposed to do, baby? Yeah, let it ride, I'm still feeling so quotable. You were on my mind for a time and I admit that. You used to turn it up, nowadays it's more like a kickback. Look, time is killing and healing all, I feel it all. You were hoping for a ring, moronic, cause you never call and there I go again. Saying shit I couldn't know about, it cycles in my mind. You know how I can't just throw shit out. I'm so obsessive, I've said it, I've said it, I've said it. Rereading every message, regret it, regret it, regret it. You know my text green as a kryptonite for me. I say all these fucking things and it ain't hitting right funny, haha. Ah shit, almost lost my tempo. Need to visit the city, I've been missing my kin folks. Can't do that too often, cause every time that I do, I see another motherfucker whose peak was in high school. Damn, shit is depressing. People that I outgrew is the same people I grew with. I never knew we would do it. Remember way back in class, I was showing niggas my music. They give it the passing glance and go tell their friends it was stupid. Well, okay, maybe I wasn't cool then. Now I can change your life with a swipe. So should I do it? Could let you retire tonight. So should I do it? Could just go and fuck on your wife. So should I do it? Nigga, you can't fuck with me. Truly, you can't fuck with me. Hope you ain't feeling cute, cause right now shit could get real ugly. I'm really the guy. I'm coming for whatever's coming for me. You can't kill my vibe. I'm stunting on whoever jumping for me. Nigga. Yeah. Look, and I'll be back for the next round. It's just practice. Chandler never lack shit. Y'all niggas is slacking. Niggas think they attacking. Niggas think that we scrapping. Nigga, I'll buy your house, have you and your mama packing. Then I might rent it out to that shorty you wish you had and leave my kids on a mattress. I can make her an actress. This shit just
Dawg on the beat, and you know he steady snapping. This hit so hard, I just gotta keep rapping. And if I don't stop now, then I don't know if I'm. All right. Next time, though.
All right.
One of my favorites, if not my favorite. I love that song. That's one of maybe the most favorite beat I've made, and that
Oh,
was like
yeah?
the most. It was the most simple one. You know, there's not much to that beat, and yeah, Chandler went in, and at one point it had ended. I would say like maybe 30 seconds before the song actually ends. Now it had ended, and he just like I don't know, man. He got so fired up, he added like another verse or two in the end there. We had to cut the beat out. He's still going.
It's something happens with the rapper where you just get so fired up, where you just have rhymes just pour out of your head, and it's just like I just gotta keep going.
I'm telling you that beat. I made that beat. I was going out that night, so I made that beat, sent it out, and while I was out, I checked my phone, and he had already sent back a demo like 2 hours later.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, let's go.
that's how
So
it goes
that
sometimes. That's how you know it's a good beat, is when it just pours lyrics out of your head. It just pours it out of my mouth, like it's just the lyrics just come out. Like I get all it does is you take one line and then everything just comes after that, and it's just like crazy how it works sometimes.
Love that. Love that. Yeah. It's like you strike gold when that happens.
So Logic played all three of those songs at one time or another.
Man, I got lucky, yeah. And I'll be honest, like I got linked up with his like one of his best boys, T-Man the Wizard. I produced
Yeah.
a song or two for him. Yeah. I got lucky again. It was just a Instagram stream, and I emailed him a few beats, and I got a placement on his first like EP last February. Um, so he and I still text back and forth whenever I have a beat I think he'll like. I'll just send it out. So hopefully
Yeah.
like more songs with him. But yeah, while they were sitting there and he wasn't getting to my stuff, I'm like, yo, T-Man, maybe hook it up a little bit, like see what's going on. And he's like in the stream, you can hear it if you rewatch. He's like, "Hey, dog, I got you," or something like that. And so eventually they
I got
got
some
to me.
shit
But
for you.
yeah, really cool. I mean, it's really cool. Just all that kind of like networking stuff, and like working with people alongside people that have actually made it, and especially people that you really admire, like Logic. But
Yeah.
yeah, all of it's so much fun. I mean, it's so much fun.
No, for sure. I really like what Logic has going on in his stream and his Discord and stuff like that. I haven't seen him do the review stream too much recently, but they were doing it for a while.
Yeah, he stopped it. So they haven't done it in a while, but I don't know how familiar you are with that Discord, but like it's a gold mine for artists.
Little
Like
bit.
yeah, no, I'm in there. And I've found like a handful of artists that I kind of text back and forth with and send stuff to, that are super dope.
Yeah.
And people post samples in there too, and it's just like a really good place to network and use resources and all that kind of stuff.
I'm blocked off to a lot of this stuff. I'm not cool enough to get in the club.
Yeah, it's kind of a young man's game, and I'm an old fart like messing around. But so is Logic; he's older too. So,
Yeah.
frankly, like I think Discord is the coolest thing ever because you can you link up with communities like ours and Never Ending Mixtape and what Logic's got going on, and that is like a never-ending wealth of knowledge and resources to like work on this sort of stuff, and just to learn too.
Well, for
So
me, I don't know if it was like for back you, but like you talked about the early days when you were on Fruity Loops. Like, dude, before these Discords, I didn't really know of a lot of people doing the same thing that I was doing at intensity that I was doing it. Like, I don't want to say like I was ever like, professionally trying to like put beats together, but like I was spending, you know how it goes, hours at a time trying to make a beat. Like when I first was trying to learn, and it's just like, yo, I'm spending a lot of time on this. I'm taking this serious, but like there's nobody I know around me doing this. All of a sudden, I joined these Discords and I'm meeting people that have been doing music for like 20 years and stuff. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? You been doing? Wait, what?
yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. And like for one reason or another, I don't really know how this all kind of worked out, but like everybody that I've kind of linked up with in one form or like it just seems like we're all sort of on the same level. And I don't know if that happened organically. Like I was watching like your interview with Mike Lowe. Like that dude's sick, but he's only been doing it for 4 or 5 years. And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so have I, and like so have a lot of these people that it seems like they've been doing it for so long, and it's like, oh yeah, like 2020, 2019, whatever. And granted, a lot of them are younger too, but like damn, okay, so
Well,
it
COVID was the big reason why everybody got back into beat making and started taking it more serious. That was
must be right.
That's
Yeah, I
why.
guess.
That's one of the big reasons. I mean, some people have been doing it longer, but like COVID kind of forced everybody to start doing something again, and I think a lot of people picked up music because I mean, I think Never Ending
Yeah.
Mixtape pretty much started up during COVID, and I know the Stew started up right after. So it started
Yeah,
up,
and
like
exactly, and I don't
2023,
feel like I was missing out
22.
on much, right?
Yeah.
Like seriously, like Never Ending Mixtape, they seem like they've been around forever, but yeah, it's probably only been since 2020, like only a year or two since before I joined.
Well, I think one of the things you were talking about with learning that you probably experienced the same way I did with the Stew was that just by like getting together and collaborating and making music together, everybody's development increased at a way faster rate. Like I'd been making beats and putting them on YouTube, and I had a lot of success, and I had a lot of subscribers, and I was selling beats on YouTube for years, and I didn't really have a whole lot, and my beats really weren't that great. They weren't mixed very well. I really didn't I was good at sample chops and like sequencing beats, but I wasn't really great with drums and like the low end and stuff. But I was still selling them. But like I wasn't learning a whole lot. And then getting in a Discord where like a lot of serious people all like trying to make music and get together, I felt like I learned more in 3 months than I did like the last 10 years making beats. And so I don't know if that was like that for you too. Or
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, and for me, I never wanted to get into that with selling beats. I more wanted the art, and I wanted to work with artists and for a final product. And that's just like where I'm at in life. Like I don't knock anybody for selling their beats, and maybe even I'll do that someday. I don't know. But like right now, and since I started, the goal, like I said, was always just to work with artists, get them on my beat, and like collaborate with them, like to what we both think sounds good. And with that, to your point, like comes a lot of growth, a lot of learning,
yeah.
and it's just fun. It's super fun.
Yeah, I remember like once I started doing the collaboration, I stopped selling beats. I was just like, I don't even care about selling these fucking stupid ass beats anymore. I just want to like make music together. That's more fun.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what's up. So what are you trying to do now? Now that you have your feet underneath it, you got a project under your belt. Is there anything you're working right now, or is there anything that you're aspiring to doing up here in 2025?
So 2025, I'd love to keep, collaborating. Right now, I mean, I'd love to do a project. I have nothing in the works at the moment. I understand that I'm trying to get Chandler to come back out, but like, people go up and down with their creativity, and I totally get that. I'm the same way. Like sometimes I'm just dry, and sometimes I'm just in my bag. But so yeah, no projects on the burner. It would be great if one came out some point this year, but mostly I think I'm just going through, beats that I make that are new that I love, and then just old stuff that's sitting around on my computer, just putting one out. I'm kind of setting the goal for one a week until I just can't really do it anymore. Just to kind of just to do it right. Like the beats are doing no good sitting on my hard drive, and I think people enjoy them. So so yeah, I'll do that, and then just like continue networking with people like yourself, our group, and Never Ending. It's been a while since I've kind of been active with them, and also just continue to reach out to artists that I think are dope, and pitch myself.
Well, with Never Ending, like I don't want to step on anybody's toes over there, but it seems like there's not a whole lot going on over there, and so I just want that. When the Stew was about to blow up, I was just like, there needs to be a place for these Discords, like you talked about, where people can go and like, I don't know, man. I want to be around, experienced people that I know can make dope shit, and like, I don't want to knock on anybody that's still in the development stage for some stuff. Granted, I'm in the development stage for plenty of things as well. There's people that are more advanced than me that are using, real studio equipment and shit. I mean, there's even guys. I mean, it sounds like the guys in NEM have a lot harder, quality control setting than I do when it comes to releasing music. In my mind, kind of like what you said. Like, dude, if it sounds good, I knock into it. I don't know. It's good.
Yeah, no doubt.
But
No
I
doubt.
definitely
I'm
want to
sure
make sure that there's like there needs to be a Discord space where people can come together to collaborate and network, because there's like the development happens most there, in my opinion, and that's just the most important thing, is the development side of stuff.
Yeah, and just the setup of Discord makes it so easy, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's good. But yeah, no, like I said, just continue to network and put out music, man. That's pretty much it for 2025. And stay balanced, balance is key. I've got my family, I've got work.
Yeah, you got a
I
whole
got
family
music.
you're taking care of. You're up here, shorting these Asian companies down into the dust.
If
throughout
I
the
can
midnight
do it,
hours.
hey, if I can find the time to make music, anybody can. I'm telling you, there's so many moving parts in my life. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Just make the time, man, because it's at least for me, it kind of soothes the soul,
For sure. Well, Hit Dawg, I appreciate you making time. Anything else you want to say to the people or out there for anyone out there listening?
Anyone, thanks for watching this. Thanks for rocking with me. I'm going to be active on Instagram. And Greek, thank you for taking the time.
Like, I know the way I had the voting structure, but like I went back and listened to everybody's beats as a whole, and I was like, damn. Hit Dawg's beats as a whole make a pretty good little EP right there.
I was actually like, if I would love to put these out, but I don't know like where those samples came from. I'm trying to track them down to see if they're like, maybe track live and easy to clear or whatever. But no doubt, that was fun, man.